Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, Tesla's in the news for something that's a tad bit bittersweet because they have reached that tax break ceiling. The 200,000 first units of all Tesla models will get a $7,500 tax break from the U.S. government. Well, now they have reached that 200,000 milestone. Now, the thing is, the tax breaks will continue on till year's end, so you can still get in on the action with your $7,500 tax break. But once the calendar flips over to 2019, that tax break drops dramatically to only $3,750 US. And then, about this time next year, after 6 months again has elapsed, that tax break drops again to $1,875 US. So you better get in quick on this particular situation. And this is not just Tesla's issue. General Motors is rapidly approaching that 200,000 milestone as they're over the 180,000 unit lot. Now, the trick of this deal is not only General Motors, but Toyota and Tesla and a lot of other manufacturers are definitely lobbying the U.S. government to actually put this tax break at least further into the future for more units to actually be sold. But it doesn't look like the government's actually wanting to bite on this situation, at least as of yet. And this has definitely put a lot of manufacturers in the catbird seat. Thinking one of them, maybe Ford Motor Company. Sheesh, their electric lineup has been pretty sparse over the past several years, so they have tons of tax breaks to go. So we'll definitely keep you in tune if we hear more about this situation. Another vehicle showing off at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, and we got a little cleanup from that particular event, comes from the folks over at BMW, as BMW were showing off the M Performance Parts M2 concept. And this vehicle's got a bunch of cool stuff on it. A lot of carbon fiber pieces to really lower down the weight, including a brand new front grille, new aero work, new hood, new roof, new deck lid, along with new fenders with heat extractors. They've done all new coilover suspension on all four corners that's completely adjustable. Brand new lightweight alloy wheels along with a extensively remodified braking package on all four corners, meaning this vehicle can go faster, stop better, corner better, the whole deal. Now the trick is we don't know if BMW is actually going to build this particular machine or not, but even if they don't, these parts are going to be available on the market very soon. So if you have an M2 or an M2 competition, you can throw all these parts of this and make your M2 concept if you would so desire. An interesting little situation that I thought, at least, from the Goodwood Festival of Speed. And I was one of those crazies that was up every day at, just a touch after 2 o'clock in the morning when it fired off here at Motor Cars HQ, and watched it all the way through till it ended up somewhere around noon that same day. Albeit I did actually take a couple of naps on all those days. But I was there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and had a heck of a time with that event. Not the biggest fan about the Lamborghini Eurus, but I tell you what, it pounding up the Goodwood Hill was a sight to see, and the thing did look good in full attack mode. But an interesting little situation perked up from that particular event as a nice little interview they had with Stefano Domenicali, the head of Lamborghini Motor Cars, where he were talking about the new Eurus, and it said something that kind of blew my mind. Because in my mind, if you owned a Lamborghini, let's say you owned a Miura, maybe a Countach, or even a more advanced one for more modern day, like an Aventador or even a Huracan, but then you thought, man, they finally built an SUV. Now I got a vehicle that I can take the kids on the school run, the grandkids on the school run. I can take more than just one friend, maybe out to dinner or something like that with this brand new sport utility vehicle. But Stefano Domenicali said that 70% of all new Lamborghini Urus owners, people who have laid down their hard-earned cash to own one of these brand new SUVs, have never, ever owned a Lamborghini in their lifetime, which I find to be fantastically stunning. Because you know what? If it was my money, and chances are I will never own a Lamborghini in any way, shape, or form, but if this was going to be my first Lamborghini, I think I would definitely pass the old Urus in favor of the melee of other great Lamborghinis that have been built over this past several years. So It's an interesting situation and was totally taken off guard that the first-time Lamborghini owners would actually buy this particular car. I'm really, really stunned, but it is great news when it comes to Lamborghini. Their sales are on fire lately, and they're talking that the Eurus alone will double the sales numbers that they have actually accumulated over the past several years. And last up on the list, Nissan, and you guys may know, you've seen this show possibly enough to know that I'm a big fan of the GTR. I love that car. It's kind of in the top 3 of the, well, vehicles that I think that are bucket list cars that I should probably actually own before I pass away. And I know we're showing the Intel Design 50th Anniversary GTR, but it really doesn't have anything to do with Intel Design. It has all to do with Nissan. And you know how I like to take to task if anybody says something dumb or they make some weirdo statements. But this statement came, and for it to come out of a Japanese car manufacturer I thought was quite weird, as the Japanese car automobile manufacturers are somewhat on the modest side. But one of the big guns at Nissan, talking about the R36 GTR, the next generation of the Godzilla machine, claimed that it's going to be the fastest vehicle in the world, bar none. Which I found to be an incredibly interesting little statement, because I kind of live in a drag racing world. So when you talk fast, you talk about mile an hour or speed. When you talk about quickness, that would be your quarter mile time, 1,000-foot time, maybe even your 1/8 mile time, or even your 0 to 60. But I am definitely guilty of calling how fast a car goes to 60. So I'm definitely in that deal. So I'm not for 100% sure if they're talking about top speed on this car, if they're talking about 0 to 60, or what Nissan is talking about. Not even taking in the fact that they're actually talking about this thing being the fastest thing in the world, which I find to be hard to believe, because look at what's coming very, very soon. We all know that the tires are almost ready for the Bugatti Chiron, and the possibility of getting to see that thing do its absolute top speed is probably well close to actually happening. A brand new Koenigsegg is just around the list, and that thing's got a stupid fast top speed. And not to mention the Hennessy F5, where they're already talking about, they being Hennessy, talking about that this particular machine is going to be able to do 300 miles an hour. So this is an interesting situation moving forward. What could happen with the R36 GTR? It's no doubt going to be electrified, so it is going to have some extra grunt, but it'll be interesting to see what they may have up their sleeve. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiast. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. And if you hear a lawnmower in the background, yes, I think the neighbor is probably mowing his grass right now. So sorry about that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.